Oleksandr Usyk has some big decisions to make in the next coming days and weeks. Who does he fight next? Is he a rematch against Rico Verhoeven, who, by the way, Turki Al-Sheikh is in favor of that rematch, because if you watched the post-fight interview, Turki Al-Sheikh jumped in a ring and he called for the rematch, Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven. So if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to see a rematch between these two guys, and he's the one that puts up all the bread, all the money, most likely gonna happen, my people. You know, when Turki Al-Sheikh speaks, things happen, because let's keep it real. Money talks, man. Money talks when it comes to boxing. Money talks in any walks of life, my people. The next option for Oleksandr Usyk is defend his WBC title against the mandatory Agit Kabayel, who's been waiting for the last 2 years or whatever. So he deserves his title shot. I've got another option. Here that I'm going to throw in. Vacate the titles. I'm talking about Usyk here. Vacate the titles and just retire. Seriously, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100. Oleksandr Usyk, to me, has nothing left to prove in the sport of boxing. He's done it all. Undisputed in the cruiserweight division, undisputed in the heavyweight division twice. In the 4-belt era, that's never been done. It's never been done. He's won the game. Walk away. You've made so much money. I mean, how much money do these guys want to make? You know, you can tell from his performance on Saturday against Rico Verhoeven, like the motivation just wasn't there for Oleksandr Usyk. He didn't have that same drive, that same desire that he usually has in his fights. I noticed it. Do you know what I mean? That hunger didn't seem to be there. Now, at the post-fight interview, he talked about his country, Ukraine, being bombed during the fight, his daughter and his family, you know, covering in a bunker, shelter, whatever you call it. Do you know what I mean? So he wasn't himself in that fight. And he nearly lost that fight. I mean, that he came that close to being an embarrassment and his reputation and legacy being in tatters, mate. I'm just keeping it real. So why carry on? Why not retire? Call it a day. You've done it all. But I've just got a feeling that he's gonna have another fight. He's gonna carry on fighting, and I hate that for fighters. I hate that. You know, like when you like a fighter so much, you admire their skills, and you just want him to walk away in peace, walk away, you know, on their own terms. Then they stay, fuck around and find out the hard way, man. And it's sad. It always happens in boxing. You know what I mean? Apart from Mayweather, who is my favorite fighter of all time, he walked away, you know, still undefeated and everything intact. He walked away, yeah. I don't want to see Oleksandr Usyk like just stay longer than he needs to and then get knocked out by one of these young bucks coming up. Because based on that performance at the weekend against Rico Verhoeven, a Kabayel or Moses Saitoma will have Usyk in serious trouble in that ring. Let's keep it real. If that was Moses Saitoma, who's fast, sharp, punches hard, great reflexes, great combinations for Moses Saitoma, I mean, Usyk would have got knocked out in that fight if he performed like that. Kabayel, who's great with a body shot, he most likely would have defeated that version of Usyk at the weekend who turned up against Rico Verhoeven. Let's keep it real. That's my worry for Usyk. He's just overstaying his stay. You know what I mean? Like, mate, you've done it all. Just walk away, man. Just walk away. But I just feel like these promoters, Turki Al-Sheikh and others, will just throw the money at Usyk. And that's going to keep him around. Because he's not going to want to leave the money behind. The money that's on the table for Usyk, he's not going to want to walk away from it. So he's going to stay for another fight. And that is the danger for Usyk. Because on another day, he's going to get the beatings, man. And psychologically, you have to think of the message that's sent out to the rest of the heavyweight division, like to the likes of Atoma, Agit Kabayel, even the Daniel Dubois, even the Tyson Fury, who's been chasing a trilogy with Oleksandr Usyk. Because boxing is what did they say? 90% mental, mate. It's so psychological, you know. And now Usyk looks human. He finally looks human. Normally, when Usyk is going into a fight, majority of his fights, I said 99% of his fights, we already know Usyk is smoking this guy, man. We already know because he's so skillful, he's so superior to everybody else when it comes to boxing skills and ring IQ. We already know the outcome. Usyk is going to get the job done. But now that he looks human, now that the fact that it took a kickboxer, a champion kickboxer, by the way, in Rico Verhoeven, let me just give my respect to Rico Verhoeven because I feel like I disrespected the big man during the lead up to the fight with my fight breakdowns and my predictions. I have to apologize to Rico Verhoeven because he proved me wrong. I mean, in fact, he proved everybody in boxing wrong. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not the only one. Many experts out there, many people who know boxing more than me, including Hall of Famers and all these big boy coaches, they're all talking about it's going to be a walk in the park, a cakewalk for Usyk. So we all got it wrong. I'm not the only one. But Rico Verhoeven put up a hell of a performance. And he's the one that's actually made Usyk finally look human and is giving the confidence to the lack of Kabayel and Moise Toma who were watching that fight thinking, you know what, bruv? We could take this guy, man. I told my sitting there thinking, mate, get me in the ring against Usyk. In the next 10 months, get me. If Usyk is still around in the next 12 months, get me in the ring with Usyk. I could take Usyk. Agit Kabayel jumped in that ring. Shout out to Agit Kabayel because I always feel like he's too quiet. He needs to kind of like get his face more out there, like get in the faces of these fighters and really like kind of, do you know what I mean, unnerve them, rattle them so that he can get his fight. Because in boxing, Mr. Nice Guy doesn't always pay. It doesn't pay to be the nice guy, man. You either the bad guy or, you know, you're the nice guy. But really and truly, a lot of the times in boxing, the bad guy makes the money. The guys who shout the loudest in the room, they get the big fights. Yeah, because they become hated and people want to see them get knocked out. So Kabayel, I like the fact that he go into the ring and he called out Usyk, which is a good thing. Now, Kabayel is very confident. Now, he's thinking, damn, this guy's 39 years of age. He's slowed down, definitely slowed down. He hasn't got the same reflexes like before. I could take him, especially with my body shot. I'm the best in the division. The pressure that I bring, I could take this guy out in a couple of rounds. So Usyk has given confidence to everybody else. And like I said, boxing is psychological. Mentally, these guys are now thinking that we can take this guy. It's giving them hope. Whereas before, it looked like, you know, Usyk was just going to take them out. But now, they're thinking, you know, we can take this guy. This guy's human. That's my worry for Oleksandr Usyk. That's my worry for him. But I just think Usyk might go the way of a rematch against Rico Verhoeven. Because I feel like his pride was hurt during the fight against Rico. The fact that Rico's come from kickboxing, having his second professional boxing match, and it made life so difficult for Oleksandr Usyk. I think inside he's hurting Oleksandr Usyk. He's a proud man. You know what I mean? He's thinking, damn, this guy really came out here and nearly embarrassed me. So I think Usyk is going to want to take the rematch against Rico Verhoeven and win that fight conclusively. Do you know what I mean? He's going to want to go in there and just like leave no questions unanswered during that fight. He's going to want to go in and just take out Verhoeven. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's going to be tough because Verhoeven now, he's confident as well. He's talking about appealing the fight. You know, the fight was stopped too early. Listen, I've had a conversation about the early stoppage. For me, it was an early stoppage. It was premature. Ref should have gave Rico Verhoeven the opportunity to come out in the 12th round. But I'm leaning towards a Usyk versus Rico rematch. I believe there's going to be more money in there commercially because now you've got the casuals. You got these guys from MMA, kickboxing, talking all that shit. Oh, boxing is corrupt. Boxing is rigged. You know what I mean? They'll never allow an outsider to win when they come into boxing. So now you got these people talking. There's more attention in this fight. So a rematch makes sense for Usyk because there's going to be big money on the table. And Turki Al-Sheikh, he wants to see the rematch. So the way I'm seeing things unfold is Usyk is most likely going to vacate the WBC title. I can see him vacating the other titles, the WBA and the IBF. He's going to vacate all of them, let all these young guns fight for it. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Usyk has the appetite, nor the hunger and determination anymore to take on the young guns, man, because he has slowed down. dramatically, and it's happened overnight. Like Rico Verhoeven showed us that Usyk has slowed down. I mean, his reflexes is just not there no more. The speed is not there no more. Do you know what I mean? The accuracy, the precision is not there no more. Like he was swinging and missing a lot against Rico Verhoeven, something that Usyk normally doesn't do, but he was doing it at the weekend. Now against a Kabayel, I told him, you're in big trouble. Big trouble. Even a Tyson Fury at this stage, you're missing like that. You're not accurate. You're a bit slower. Fury can give Usyk big problems, man. So therefore, I think Usyk is gonna think to himself, you know what? I don't need all this headache, man. I'll take on this kickboxer again, beat him. I'll take the fight serious. I'll focus. Do you know what I mean? I'll get myself motivated. There's big money. I'll have one more fight, then I'll go away. Because what is it? Usyk's turning 40. Father Time has caught up to Usyk, you know? And I want to say this in terms of regarding Usyk's performance, yeah? I'm not going to overreact on the performance against, like, Rico Verhoeven and say, yeah, Usyk is done, like, proper finish. No, I think what happened at the weekend against Rico Verhoeven, we have to give Rico Verhoeven a lot of respect for the way he performed, a lot of respect for Rico Verhoeven in terms of how he put the pressure on Usyk and really stood on Usyk. Like, he came to Usyk, he brought the fight to Usyk and made it really difficult. But I think the awkwardness of Rico Verhoeven kind of put Usyk off his rhythm as well. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's better to fight a traditional boxer because you know what they're going to do in it. Boxing can be very rigid. You know how the jab's going to go. You know the backhand. You know how these guys are going to move their heads. So when you're taking on a traditional boxer, it's kind of easier to time them. It's kind of easier to make the adjustments. But when someone comes in that ring that's a bit alien, you will struggle to get your timing, your accuracy. Do you know what I mean? Your rhythm will be off because it's something new that you're dealing with. And sometimes it takes these fighters a couple of rounds to download the data and then start making the adjustments. I think we saw that from Usyk. When he did start making the adjustments, he started landing the uppercuts, etc., on Rico, but he just didn't do enough. He didn't do enough, and Rico was winning the fight. But I believe if there was a rematch, I think Usyk, with his ring IQ, he knows how Rico fights now. He's been in the ring with him. He will make all the adjustments. And I think in a rematch, I think the fight might be slightly more comfortable for Usyk. I'm not saying Usyk is going to go and win. I'm saying he is good enough with his ring IQ. He's an intelligent man. He will make the adjustments. He knows how Rico moves now. He knows the rhythm. He knows the patterns. And Usyk will adjust to them and make life a little bit more comfortable with him. Whether we win or lose, I don't know, man. We're going to have to wait and see if the rematch does happen. But I don't see... But what I was going to say, I'm not going to say that, oh, Usyk is completely done. I'm going to be a bit balanced. Usyk is not done, but he's also not the Usyk of before. He's definitely coming towards the end of his career in boxing. That is 100% sure. How long he's got left, that's up to him. But if you're asking me personally, I want to see him retire right now. Just walk away. Don't even have the rematch against Rico Verhoeven. But I think he's going to have it. I think he's going to have the rematch against Rico Verhoeven and he's going to vacate the titles. And Kabayel will be promoted to full WBC heavyweight champion. It's a shame because I would like to see the fight between Usyk and Kabayel because I'm a purist. I want to see those fights. I want to see Usyk take on the next best guys in the division. I want to see how he can adjust to them. I want to see the challenges that they will bring to Oleksandr Usyk. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen because Usyk just doesn't have the motivation anymore. I'm just going to keep it real. But my people, let me know your thoughts in the comments, man. Who do you think is next for Oleksandr Usyk? A rematch with Rico Verhoeven? Defend his WBC title against the mandatory Agit Kabayel? Or is Usyk going to walk away from the sport and retire? That's what I want. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, my people. I would really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Please don't forget to smash the likes. And if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe because you're really going to help us to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.